There's a message.
Which means it is going live. I think you're gonna let people in.
They're coming.
Which means it is going. I think you're gonna let people in. Which means it is going. Okay. Let's start the meeting then. Good evening, Hammond North. It's 6:01 on August 5th for a special meeting of the Hammond North Board. First item of business is the attendance. Randy Vaughn,
Here.
Chris Conti,
Here.
Gil Patton,
Here.
Jan Welch,
Here.
Tim Fritz,
Here.
and Tracy Smiley cannot make tonight's meeting. With that, next order of business is the announcements and the as before, the chat feature has been disabled. Owner questions should be limited to about 2 minutes and on the item that we're talking about. With that, I'll turn over to Jan for announcements, remembrance.
Sadly, we have another remembrance to announce today. Robin Lee Baker passed away after 9 months of battling brain cancer on July 24th. He is the beloved husband of David Ratke from the 14th floor. These things just get harder and harder, and especially when there are multiple people in the building. I really appreciate Nancy Pushkar letting me know, when someone has passed, and other people as well. So don't be shy if you hear of someone of a death to reach out and let me know so that we can announce it at the first meeting after we hear about it. So that's all I have for that.
All right, thanks, Jan.
Mhm.
Next item of business, Randy, acceptance of the minutes.
Yes, I move that we approve the minutes of the monthly board meeting of July 22nd.
Second.
Second by Tim Fritz. Any discussion? Gil?
Randy, I apologize. I wasn't able to get back to you before now, but there's, I think, 3 things that I saw. One is on attendance. It doesn't identify that Tracy is absent on there. And then the write-off of the 63,000 wasn't really bad debt. We talked about that, I think, in the meeting, that it was negotiation. And then on the status of the alarm repair, I think it needs to be also noted, and I think it was discussed in the meeting, that their surge protection was put on as part of that repair.
That I recall. Yeah. Well, should I draw my motion and go back through the
Or can we
recording?
you want to do that, or do you want to just take those and make the changes?
Yeah, let's just discuss any problems with the changes, because I had one comment that I think bad debt is the category that it's recorded on. I think your point's well taken, Gil, why we have it. But I think that's the category that's recorded under on the budget reports. I don't think there's another item that lists settlements, litigation.
Yeah, that was the only one I wasn't. That
I
was the only
don't
one I
dis-
wasn't sure of. I know I didn't put Tracy in as being absent, and I do remember the comment about surge protection, but I didn't remember that wasn't bad debt.
And for the minutes purpose, you might say that it's in the bad debt area, but I think it needs to be noted what it was from. I mean,
That's
these are
point taken.
minutes.
And it
Yeah.
was just from what? Are you saying it was
Negotiation.
no?
Yeah, I have no problem with those changes. Does anybody have any problem with those amendments to the minutes?
Yeah, Gil just wants to note it as settlement negotiation, but it'll end up in the budget of bad debt. So
Yeah, you can say both. I mean, note that it's where it's in the budget, where it's coming out of, but also why it occurred. So if anybody's going back through this stuff, they can, God forbid, they know what truly occurred there.
Okay, I can add those three things.
Thank you.
So moving ahead for the minutes for tonight's meeting, we can just note that there were 3 changes to the minutes. And with that, is there any objection to then to the minutes as amended? With that, I'd say that all those in favor of the minutes then as amended? Okay, 6-0. All right. With that, Randy, discuss the Burnham settlement.
Okay, yeah, so the Burnham suit has been settled. And the details of that are that we will receive the title to Unit 108, Association will. Burnham will take no action to delay the partition action. The association will make no loss assessment against Burnham. And yeah, then as a result of agreeing to this settlement, the association is receiving from the insurance companies who were involved in the suit. We are receiving $100,000. And that's pretty much the details of the suit. Now, full disclosure here. After the settlement, State Farm, I believe it was State Farm, contacted their the people that they were covering and indicated that they will reimburse those people for their deductible that they had paid in their claim. That affects 2 of our board members. They were notified that they will be receiving their deductible back. And so in the prevention of any implication of a conflict of interest, we would ask those members, are going to have to approve this settlement officially by a vote. We would ask those 2 members to recuse themselves, and they have agreed to do that. So we just wanted to make that public in case somebody, says, hey, wait a minute, these people knew they were going to get money back if this settlement was agreed to. They didn't know that. They were surprised, as I assume other people in the building were surprised, who also were covered by State Farm. But in the negotiation of the settlement, they had no knowledge that they were likely to receive any kind of remuneration.
yeah, we were involved in that. We were involved in that negotiation, and all we knew was that the insurance companies were trying to collect money, and we didn't know what the stated purpose of that collection.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset. My insurance company was involved, and they're not giving me my deductible back. So anyway, I didn't expect it, but they're not.
Yeah, and it was totally undisclosed in the proceedings.
Any other comments from any board members about this?
I have some
Okay.
questions about it, but I'll wait until after the vote because it doesn't impact the vote.
Okay. So with that,
I would like then to make a motion that we accept the settlement as it is currently written in the Burnham case.
Is there a second? Tim
Tim-
seconds it.
Tim cannot, I don't think he can second it.
Yeah, you
Tim
can.
seconds it. That's
We're not-
fine.
We're not involved.
No, it's only Chris Conti and Gil Patton who can't
Oh,
vote
it's
on
Chris
this.
and Gil. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So Tim seconds.
Before we go to owners, are there any other board comments on that? Of the four members who can vote on this? With that, can we unmute Sally Larson?
I'm getting there. There we go.
Yes, Sally.
State Farm planned that several years ago. I was contacted by them when they were ready to pursue the filing against Burnham. And I was asked whether or not I wanted them to also attempt to retrieve my $500 deductible. So State Farm had this in plan for a very, very long time. I'm just putting that out there so everyone seems to be surprised. But I was contacted by their law firm at least 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I know they were ready as soon as it was possible to file. They had done everything they needed to do to go ahead with it. I don't know what other insurance companies did. It's just a comment. It's not a reflection on anything, on any board members or anything like that. I'm just saying that State Farm was prepared to go after their settlement a long time ago. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Sally. Any other comments from the owners? Okay, with that, I will call the question on Randy's motion to accept the settlement.
In favor?
Okay, that's 4. That's me, Randy, Tim, and Jan. All right, Gil, you had a comment?
Randy, I had a couple questions. Do you know when we're going to get the title? When that's, or what's going to have to happen for that to occur?
I don't have that date. I tried to find that today, but it has to go before the judge. Judge has to put his stamp of approval on it. And that is supposed to be sometime in August, but honestly, I do not remember the date.
Okay, so we're waiting for the judge to sign off on it now.
Right.
Okay, well, that answers my next question then too. So very good.
All right, can we unmute John Webb?
Yes, since we're getting that unit, does that mean that they get a share of that payout that's coming up in next month or so, or is that forfeited since the unit will be ours as association?
I believe it means it would be forfeited. I believe, assuming as Randy said, or Randy, can you handle that?
Well, I think a lot of it, assuming the judge signs off on this. If he does that before the disbursement, then yes, I would think that money would stay with us.
Right. Makes sense.
All right, thanks, John. Can we unmute Patty?
So what are we getting from the Burnham lawsuit? What's the dollar amount?
100,000.
And what are we getting from the unit itself?
The unit itself, if we are the owners of it as an association, when the building is sold and the profits are divided among the ownership, that the money that would have been given to the owner of the 108 unit, that would also be included in the profit in the disbursement to all the other owners.
And what is
So-
that dollar amount?
well, that dollar amount, it would be, it depends on, how much the dispersal is. Um, in other words, if we can sell the building for 12 million, for example, whatever that percent of ownership of 108, whatever that percent of ownership is, that would go back in the pot to be divided according to everyone else's percent of ownership. And so you would get that percent of,
So what
or
is
that
that?
amount of whatever that
Is
is.
that the 76,000?
I think that's around the ballpark of what the
It is.
dispersion is.
Okay.
And does that include the reserves, which is like another 52,000 or so?
The 75,000, I believe, is a disbursement for an '08 unit for everything, the insurance money and the sale of the building. Would have to go back and look at it. The actual disbursements are, as Tracy showed, it's in a two-step. If you look at it's posted on the website, it would give you how much is forfeited for the one-bedroom unit. Two-bedroom unit in the 11 million disbursement, and how much for the remainder.
And does that 76 include the reserves money or just the sales money?
It's all of it. And again, I would refer to what's on the web.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. Owner with 2 bedrooms, 76,000. But that's under sale of building, 12,000. And then the
Okay,
reserves is 11,000 and the 2-bedroom would be 52,000.
Randy?
Yeah, again, without the spreadsheet in front of me and all of that, but you have to understand on that spreadsheet, the 2 bedrooms come in 3 different sizes, correct?
Yeah, I'm not
The-
asking for an exact amount. I'm just asking for a
Okay.
guesstimate. And I'm looking at the spreadsheet and for a 2-bedroom for the sale, it's $76,756. And then the reserve, a 2-bedroom, these are just, guesstimates, $52,704. And that comes to 129,000 and 100,000 for the insurance. Is that, so we're looking at about $230,000?
I think, Patty, without looking at the exact numbers, it's hard for us to say definitively the numbers, what we're looking at to
Well,
really
I'm
answer
looking
your
at this,
question.
I'm looking at the spreadsheet.
I understand that, but none of us are looking at the spreadsheet. Tim?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm
I
just
don't know.
curious about a guesstimate of what we're gonna get. It cost everybody their home. It cost almost $50 million in insurance, and we're only getting $230,000.
Okay, can I call on Tim? Patty, we're trying to answer your question. Tim?
Patty, the $100,000 is spread among everybody.
Yeah, that's the.
Doesn't
Oh,
get-
okay,
it-
okay.
it
Yeah, you're
doesn't
right. You're
onto-
right.
Yeah, the 100,000, so the number is gonna be the 75, and then I'm going, just guessing, the 75 plus the 55 plus $100,000 divided by 179 owners.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would be minuscule.
Patty,
So we're
I'm
looking at-
gonna mute you and unmute you later because there are other board members who want to answer. Randy, do you have something? Did you want to add something?
No, I think I would only confuse the matter even more.
Okay, Chris, you had your hand up.
Yeah, Patty, that number comes out to roughly $215,000 that we will end up dispersing among the ownership based on
Ton of ownership.
based on their ownership in the building. So it's
Jan, sorry,
about 215,000.
Jan.
I've reconsidered what I'm going to say. It's not going to help. Never mind.
Okay, so Patty, your hand is down. If you want to make additional comment, we could recognize you again.
No, she said it was okay. She gave a thumbs up.
Okay, all right, we're done. Any other questions, any other owners about this, the Burnham settlement? Okay, if not, oh, John Webb, you have your hand up. Can we unmute John?
So if I heard Randy right, he said it depends on when the judge made the settlement on whether or not Ms. Burnham would get, whether or not she would get the payout or not. Since you're in the settlement, shouldn't, I don't think it's right that you're giving her a payout since that was part of her unit. So shouldn't you all like check with legal and see if you can hold that in escrow until the settlement's done? Because here you're getting $100,000, but she gets paid out like 60,000 or what they're saying because of the timing. That's not really fair. That's not really a settlement. And I don't think that was the intent. So can you all check with legal to make sure that's right, what Randy said?
I
I
agree.
think
We
that's
would.
points.
John, we need to follow up. We need to follow up with Benny tomorrow.
Yep, I agree. Okay, then move on to the next item on the agenda is we have some invoices. So I don't know if did any of the board members have any objection to any of the Finney invoices? Can we do them all together? Or do we want to do them separately?
Let's do them together.
Okay, as long as there's no objection. Gil?
I have one question.
Sure.
We need to talk about why we have charges for the porter that we're paying Finney.
I
That should
believe,
all be covered by the DNO. Why we're even
again,
using them, I'm not even sure.
it's because of the countersuit. Because of the countersuit, and as we're moving towards the discovery and the depositions of the people, there is some charges for the countersuit for Julie to work on that through Finney. All the work that we're doing from Brandon and from Ian for discovery and documents and preparation for discovery, for depositions, that's covered by the DNO insurance.
Okay.
So I move we approve all of these invoices. I can read them out.
Yeah.
Invoice 52323 on the partition, $22,431.51. Invoice 52324, general corporate, $1,905.50. Invoice 52325 on the porter situation, $1,686.50. Invoice number 52326 on the Seward suit, $176. And 52327 on Burnham, $660. And then the bankruptcy one, that's separate?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, is there a second on those?
I'll second.
Okay. And Chris Conti seconds. Any comments, other additional comments on them? Okay, all those in favor of the Finney invoices? Okay. 6-0. Okay, somebody want to read off the additional bankruptcy, bill?
Do you want me to?
Sure.
It's number 51485 to Allen Stovall Newman and Ashton LLP on bankruptcy, $88.
Is there a second on that? Okay, Tim seconds it. Any discussion on that?
Is that also with Finney?
No,
No, that's not Finney. This is the bankruptcy attorney who's handling the 3 owners who were in bankruptcy. I think 2 are currently in bankruptcy. And it basically all the financial matters for them is going to go through our bankruptcy attorney, and he's contacting the bankruptcy trustee.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, before we vote, can we unmute Patty?
Thank you. Jan, you mentioned the Cywert case. Are we still on track for a court date to have that dismissed for Cywert?
Don, do you, or Randy?
Randy,
As I recall, it's the 19th of the month, but I don't have that in front of me.
that
And
sounds right to me.
there is an August date, and we think it's the 19th.
And are we still on track to have it dismissed?
That is the intent of.
We hope so.
All right,
That's-
thank you.
Yeah, that's our motion in that, in that court date.
Okay. So is, no other questions? All those in favor of paying that invoice 51485 for $88? Okay, 6-0. All right. Next item of agenda that I have is the question of building matters and lightning strike. Gil?
All right. So many things here. First of all, the fire alarm system, I think we talked about that last time. There were a surge protector was put on. I think we talked about that. I just brought that up before. Greg is looking into the cost to put additional surge protectors on in, I think, 2 or 3 other locations. So hopefully by next time we meet, we'll have an estimate on that, what that would cost to do that. Additionally, I was told by one of our owners that we have lightning rods on our roof, and I was told that there was a company that used to come and check on those from time to time. And Greg has confirmed with me today that we have those lightning rods up there. He's not aware of any company. He is going to give a couple of companies that do that kind of work a call, and is also going to check on the rods themselves to see if there's a company name on them. But he doesn't have anything in his records, so we'll continue down that path to see if we can find out if those folks can come in and see if they're still doing what they're supposed to be doing, or if they need some kind of repair or replacement. I will move on to elevators. We still have 2 elevators down. My understanding is that they're still trying to source the parts. The parts are available, but they have to find who's got them in the country and get them to Cincinnati to be installed. So we only have 1 working elevator at this point in time. Cooling tower. And in that, I just wanted to note, in the minutes from last week or last meeting, we talked about how things were fixed, and we were having decent humidity in certain areas of the building that we were concerned about. And as it turned out, we didn't even have cooling running at that time. They've been down since the Tuesday before. Evidently, there was another lightning strike in or near the building. We had a short occur with the power that goes out to the towers, and those wires all having to be re-pulled all the way to the towers from the panel. 2 of the controllers, the 2 controllers, one for the Tower 1 and the other one for Tower 2, were damaged, so those had to be replaced. I haven't seen the number, but I've been told it's somewhere around $25,000 in repairs for those. Security cameras, we still have a bank of security cameras at the desk that are not working. They came in and made a repair, thought it was fixed, and turns out they were not. So they were supposed to be in this week as well to look into that. The thought was that we have some older cabling that might need to be replaced. I'll let you know when we hear more about that. The fob update, Greg told me that it will take 2 to 3 hours of time to disconnect everybody other than the few people that still need to have access to the building. So I think we need a motion by the board to go ahead and do that.
First of
looking
all,
at that now?
hold it. First of all, who would be allowed access to the building? Who's going to be included in that list?
Discuss it. I think it's the staff. I think it's the board. And I don't think anybody else needs access, do they?
I was asking a question. It was strictly information.
And that question is to everybody on this board.
I agree with Gil's answer.
Randy?
Do we have a price on what this would cost?
It's my understanding that it's 2 or 3 hours of someone's time. Something that Mickey could do as she goes. I would think it's not like we have to do it in a block of time
From what I
and do it all
understand,
at once.
from what I understand, it's something that Greg does typically when people move in and out of the building. So it's something
Correct.
it's something that we do internally.
Correct. That's my understanding as well.
So, Gil, sounds like a motion is in order.
I think so. I'd like to make a motion that we disconnect all the fobs except for the staff and the board members and if there's fobs in the knock boxes for the fire department.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second. I'll
Jan
second.
seconds. Any other discussion? Randy?
Does this mean that an owner's fob would not work at the front door or anywhere?
That's correct.
It's all or nothing, I think, when we looked into that. They
That's
can't
correct.
disable certain entrances.
But we've got security at the front door all the time, so if owner needs to get in, they can get
Wow.
in. Except for the 2 days, right? And then we've got other staff people here.
Yeah, we can publish on the website. These are the available times that people come to the building.
Okay, can we unmute the Hoxie family?
My question might have just been answered, but I have never, in the 5 or 6 past months that I've come to pay, been able to get into the building without the fob. There's not been anyone at the desk. And in the 10 minutes or so it takes me to get in and out, that's been the case. Is there any possibility of putting a payment box in that inner lobby section so that we don't have to wait? I honestly, the way I am able to get up there, to have to check a website to see if the building's open or not is really not very helpful for me. But whatever happens is fine. I don't mind. I would like to know what I should do with my fob. I hate throwing it away, but if there would be a possibility to put a payment box in that inner space there, that would be helpful.
Another possibility could be that you can call security in advance and they know what time you're coming approximately. That may help out. Randy?
Could we post a sign with some number that somebody could call to get the security if he's running around the building or something? Do they use just one cell phone, or does each security guy have his own phone?
I don't know. We certainly can put the number in for the building, and I believe if nobody answers, it get transferred to Mickey. And so then she could answer.
That's correct.
All right, I see a thumbs up on that. Can we unmute Patty?
Just real quick. The black box that we have? Maybe we could put that on a table out in the vestibule and they could empty it every day. And do you need our key fobs? The vestibule is that intersection.
No, I understand what you're talking about for delivery of bills.
Yeah, payment. And do you need our key fobs back?
I don't think we need them back. Gil?
I don't know the answer to that question for sure, but I could certainly ask it and get back. It's a good question.
We can talk to Greg about that.
The black box in the vestibule?
Yes.
The fobs returned and and the box.
Okay, thank you.
Carrying mood, John.
I would be very careful about putting any box for payments that contains checks or into something that's not unsecured. Chris, did you mean to laugh? I'm sorry.
I agree with you, John.
Well, the reason why is that fraud is a big concern. And part of that is fraud people, it's been recorded. I know this from my past experience, that people try to find places where checks are, and then they duplicate that and then do bank fraud. That's been happening quite a lot and still happening. And if it's there and we know the guards are not there all the time, that's certainly a risk. So I would be very cautious because I would hate for the Hammond to be somewhat responsible for that. Thank you.
And I can call Mickey and make sure we get the phone number can get posted on the door. Chris.
All you really need to do is call the Hammond North phone number, and it will either get picked up by the guard or by Nikki. And we can post that number in the vestibule so that any owners who are coming can call that number, and hopefully that will take care of the issue. But I agree with John, putting a box in the vestibule is not a good idea.
Okay.
Vote.
Gil.
Call the vote.
Okay, Ken. So the motion was about the fobs, correct? It was Gil, your motion. Can you repeat it?
I made the motion that we disable the fobs for everybody except for the board members and the staff and any that are in any Knox boxes for the fire
Right,
department.
I believe that was seconded already, right?
Yeah.
It's a chance. Okay, all those in favor? Okay, 6-0. All right. Next on the agenda is the Quit Claim Deeds Committee. Jan?
No, I'm still got building matters to talk about. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So the train contract, where are we with that? Did the contract committee get a chance to look at that?
No,
Okay, we need to, hopefully we can get that for the next meeting because part of what we had damaged was train items we're getting from train. So I want to make sure that we've got something in place. And the
Remind us what
ability,
those are, Gil.
they're controllers for the cooling towers, for the motors, the fans on the cooling towers.
and the chiller.
And the chiller?
And the train-
Yes.
It's on the train chiller also. So Greg has sent us a
Well, the
contract. It's basically a renewal of last year's contract. And it has the ability to have an escape clause on it if we sell the building. So we just need to sign that contract.
He's Greg, I believe, sent it all out.
Right. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Okay.
We just need to approve it.
Yeah.
He's gathered the contract. It's a duplication of last year's contract. Nothing has been missed in terms of their contracted services, and it does have a way to escape if we sell the building.
Great. That's great.
So are you suggesting that we make a motion to do that tonight, or does it need that?
Yes, I'm not sure that we need to make a motion to approve a contract that is a renewal.
Oh,
If we need to do that, then we should do that.
Chris?
So moved.
Randy?
Anyone going to second it?
I will second Chris's motion to approve the train contract.
Randy?
Did the price go up?
Don't think so.
I thought it was a renewal at the current price, but maybe we should wait. Maybe it should wait. I haven't looked at it in detail.
Can we, to avoid a delay on this, though, I don't know if we're going to do a special meeting next week. It could be 2 weeks. I think given what's happening with the chiller and the controls, we need to be sure this contract is current. Can we have a vote, assuming there's a leeway of a certain percent if it's higher? Chris?
This is a contract that we have had for many years, and we can't afford to be without it. If there is a cost increase, it's going to be inflationary, and we should just approve it and move on. It's a renewal. It is one we absolutely need to have.
Any other comments? So we had a motion, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And a second.
And a second. So no other comments on it? All those in favor? Okay, it passes 6-0. Anything else, Gil?
Randy vote?
Randy,
No,
Randy's not approved,
it's 501.
5-1.
Okay.
5-1. I'm sorry, I missed the one.
What about I hate calling it what it spells out to be, the CRIME insurance policy. I don't even know what that's all about, but evidently that's a renewal as well.
What is it?
Yeah, I had talked to Gil about it, but I think Gil correctly pointed somebody else should look at it. So that's on me to look at it again and see if I can get another board member to take a look at it.
Well, what is it, John?
I thought it was a crime policy of some related. I didn't look that closely at it yet.
Oh,
It's
Okay.
it's a liability policy of some sort, and there wasn't enough information in what I saw for me to understand it. So it's
Yeah.
also through Driehaus.
Yeah, I
So-
assumed it was an insurance policy and that was wrapped up in the original. Tell you what, can you, Gil, call Brian tomorrow and find out what he knows about it? If he knows nothing about it, I'll follow up.
I want to report on his information a little bit anyway. So, and I'll have to call him back based off of how that works out. I think that's it. I mentioned that, our air handlers were down. So, and as a result of that, there's a bunch of places where we're getting condensation and leaks from that plumbing that we're going to have to address when they come back up online. And I don't know who's going to drive that.
No, it sounds to me like it's something that Greg needs to be on top of, and Tim's going to have to do some inspections of the building. As you say, when it comes up online.
And did I mention that? The wiring is being pulled, and they expect to have that done by the end of this week. And the controllers are, I believe, if they're not
That's for
already
the-
here, they should be here and also be online. We're hoping by no later than Monday or Tuesday of next week, those will all be back online. We'll be cooling again,
Okay.
hopefully sooner.
All
I'm
right.
done.
Okay, thanks, Gil. Okay, Jan, the Quitclaim Deeds Committee.
Yes, we're becoming a little bit active again, not on the same level that we were. But an email went out to all of the floor representatives to ask them to update their lists. We have a good list now, but because it's been a while, it does need to be updated. I think we have talked on here about the fact that we have to do that's what they call them, refresh title searches for the distribution of funds. And in addition to that, we're in the beginning stages of having the title searches done for the sale. So we're going to be talking about that tonight, and hopefully the same organization will be able to do that. But the distribution committee and the quit claim deeds committee there's a little bit of overlap because of the title searches. So as I said, I've sent something out to all of the floor captains. 9 of you have already started your work. We're trying to get this information completed again I'd like to send it to the attorneys by Monday. And it has been really gratifying to see the responses of the floor captains. Things like, I'm on it, we'll get it done. I need some help. I mean, it's just a great collegial spirit. And I just really appreciate that. And it makes everything so much easier. But so there's a little bit of overlap because of the needing 2 title searches. And we're going to start doing a few quit claim deeds as well. So that's starting a little bit slower. I think that's all I had. Then Chris is going to talk about the distribution costs.
Okay, Chris?
Okay. I am ready. We had started talking with Ivy Point Title, and that's the title company that is associated with the Finney law firm. And it's a small title company, and they gave us a price of $500 per unit, and times the 180 units, that's $90,000. It seemed to us to be quite a bit more money than we were expecting it to be. And Chris Finney agreed with us and actually went back to the Ivy Point Title Group, and they held firm on their price. So I then contacted the lawyer's title company and talked to one of the attorneys there, and he came back with a price including the refresh title work that amounted to $61,000. And there's a breakdown on that. For those with mortgages, and we have 52 mortgagees, it was $300 per mortgage. For the 128 of us that don't have mortgage, that would cost $200 a piece. And then there's the title refresh, and that came up to $61,000. And then I went to Prominent Title, who is the company that Mike Stacy is working with on the PSA. And initially, he gave me a price of $500, and then he came back and said, no, I talked to my group, and they told me $375 would be a good number, and that came out to $67,500. And I told them we had a better bid, and ordinarily I don't give away the number, but I did conversationally, and he agreed to meet it. So we're at $61,000 from Prominent and $61,000 from the law firm associated with Lawyer's Title, which is Griffin, Fletcher, and Hughes. And that's where we are. And the benefit of going with Prominent is that if they are going to be doing the title work for Mike Stacy and the sale actually goes through, that will help expedite all of the work that needs to be done. That would be the only reason that I would recommend Prominent over the law firm of Griffin, Fletcher and Hughes. So
Are you
that
looking for,
ends,
oh,
I'm sorry, that ends my presentation. And now if there are questions from the board,
so are you
have
looking
at it.
for a motion tonight, Chris?
You know, we need to give an answer to one of these groups so that they can prepare.
Yeah.
Our taxes, our property taxes were due July 24th. We're now about 10 days or so, maybe not quite 2 weeks out from that. And all of the information should be recorded and updated. And they should be able to start the work now.
Yeah, because the
Yes,
longer it takes us to do the distribution.
it does. So, and I'm sure the distribution will be done in batches. You know, the title work can involve a lot of research on their part because the title company is looking for liens and new liens, and they need to discover any current liens that they haven't discovered in the past 2 searches that they've done. So you never know what you're going to find.
Tim?
I would recommend that we go with one company with Prominent, because my thought process in this has been, what if we give business to Prominent, we give business to Lawyers Title, and they come up with some inconsistencies.
Right. I would agree with that also. Would you like to make a motion, Tim? Or I will otherwise.
I make a motion that we do our title search work through Prominent Title.
I'll
Well,
second.
that would, okay. And it's not just a title search. It is the distribution of the funds as well will all be handled by Prominent Title.
Well, why don't you make a motion so that it's all inclusive?
Okay, well,
I'm sort of involved, but not as involved as you've been.
okay. So I would make the motion that that Prominent Title be hired to do the distribution of the $11 million to the Hammond North ownership.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Jan seconds. Any discussion of the board members?
I want to mention that includes the title searches and all these things we've been talking about.
It
All
does.
inclusive.
It includes the title search, and the distribution of funds either to the mortgage, to the lien holders, money that comes back to the HOA in past HOA fees in arrears, and then direct distribution to the owners who have no mortgage or arrears.
Okay, any other discussion of the board members? If not, then can we unmute John Webb?
I think, Chris, you answered the first question I had was I'm making sure that all the delinquencies are paid after the first 2 items or 3 items that come into play. And I think you just suggest. The other question is, have you all done any research on where the different banks and the service that you're using, where the money's being held? I've not seen a contract, although I've asked for it. And so are there fees for moving that money? There's like several different banks because none of them can hold more than 250,000. That seems like a lot of work and coordination for that. And I'm just curious if you've done that research. Thank you.
We've discussed that with Rob at Prominent, but I don't remember the detail to the answer.
Yeah, but I don't think it's at Prominent, is it? It's at several banks, and then there's a service that's coordinating it and doing it, which does all that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I looked at, Greg shared with me all the details of it, but I'm not seeing a contract. And so that's why I was curious how that would work. So thank you. That's something you may want to consider looking into, Greg.
Yeah, can somebody follow up, Jan or Chris, follow it up with Greg? Find out what the mechanics are of distributing that money.
I can do that. I
Who's
will have time.
Thank you. Gil, you already hand up?
I was just going to say that let's hold off on that discussion, but we've already solved it, so I'm good.
Okay, can we
Sally.
unmute Sally?
I'm just curious as to whether we're going to see a distribution before the end of the year.
I expect we will see a distribution of funds perhaps as early as the end of August. It should be completed certainly by the end of September, no later than that.
Okay. And Chris, when you say in batches, you're implying that those who are free of mortgage and any other kind of debt, whether it's taxes or arrears, those checks would be immediately dispersed?
It is, I'm not doing it, and I haven't had that direct conversation with the lawyer at Prominent Title, but it is most likely they will do the easy ones first because they're easy. And they'll work on the title search, and they'll work on the lien identification, and those will get done in the process. But for there's 128 of us that do not have mortgages, and those should be quick and easy, and should be, I would think they will be at the front end of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Certainly.
Jan?
I'm less confident of that, only because, Chris, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I thought, at least when we were talking about the distribution of money for the sale, that Prominent would be doing all of that like the same week. So, or all of the checks or all of the payments would be done that same week. So I don't know if we can really assume that.
I will have a conversation with Rob and clarify that.
Okay.
And just another item to my list.
Gil?
On this same subject, is the board going to hire an independent CPA to come in and go through our financials to make sure we've got everything squared away in order to do this?
Well, we just completed an audit. So we should be squared away.
It seems to me that's more important when we're dispersing all the funds. I'm not sure that's the step we have to take now and take again. We're dispersing the rest of the funds.
Why now would be any different than later?
It's not. It's just we have to.
We're to spend. Go ahead.
I think it has to be done twice then.
Just
Got to make
adds to
sure
the
that we've
cost.
got our finances are correct.
Can we unmute Sally?
If the sale does not go through, will there be a disbursement of the $11 million in insurance funds? I haven't heard a vote on that by the board. So what's the story on that?
Chris?
We have voted to distribute $11 million of insurance money. We have currently about $15,500,000 of insurance money. So we're holding some back.
I understand.
The plan is to distribute the insurance money, and we're going to move forward with it. Okay. That's the plan. We voted to do that. And we have now voted to identify the title company we're going to work with to get that done. So, so
Somehow
I'm,
I
It's
missed
not
the vote.
contingent
I
on the
missed the
sale.
actual vote. I'm sorry. That's my bad, if
Okay.
that's the case. The
you know,
last question I remember, there was concern about the loss of the amount of interest if those funds were dispersed now. So, and I understand that. I realize that interest is a lot of money and it accrues to all of us, but I also think some of us need those funds, and we're in the 4th year since the fire.
the interest money that the HOA is losing on the opportunity goes to the owners, because you get the money.
Yes,
You get to do with it as you need if you want to
I
invest it.
understand. I can get
Okay.
interest on it that I'm
Okay.
not getting now. I get that.
Okay.
It's just not clear to me what's going to happen. So if the sale does not go through, that dispersal will still happen. It's not clear to me. Are you trying to connect the closing on the sale with the disbursement of the insurance funds?
Sally, I don't think I have ever tried to connect the two.
Okay.
Okay.
The point is just a question for clarification.
Okay.
Sale goes through. Will
Okay,
all of the insurance money be distributed?
Say that again, Sally. I missed it.
If the sale goes through, will all of the insurance money then be distributed?
Yes, it has to be distributed along with the proceeds from the sale.
Now, the proceeds from the sale will have to wait until after the jury trial and the settlement of the lawsuit. I'm talking about the dispersal of the insurance monies.
Randy, you had your hand up. I assume you were going to address that.
Yeah, I'm not, well, I would think if the dispersal of the 11 million, if that does happen, as Chris predicts, by the end of September, the sale will not have happened by then. And so whenever the sale does finally come to closing, then there would be a second dispersal of that money.
Not of that. When you say of that money, what are you talking about?
Of that $12 million.
Minus,
that we would
minus
No.
reserves,
I'm
minus.
asking about the insurance money.
One at a time.
And we will have to, we can't disperse everything that is in the treasury, because as you mentioned, we still have a lawsuit hanging over our heads, and we need to reserve some money in case we need to pay, for that.
Okay.
Well, and we will. We'll at least have to pay lawyers for that if we don't have to pay.
That satisfies my, so you were going
So
to.
there in essence could be 3 separate dispersals. One of the $11 million that we're talking about right now. The second one would be if this sale goes through for $12 million, there would be that one. And then when the whole thing is over with, finally, and the association would no longer be existing, there would be the final dispersal of whatever happens to be left in the accounts in the treasury.
So we'd be talking about the final distribution sometime after the trial in March.
Exactly.
Jan,
So
you had hand up.
we're now. Okay, go ahead.
Just want to emphasize that the $11 million distribution that we're talking about doing probably in September, that decision has been made. We're proceeding with that. Now, I suppose something could happen that would railroad that, but that our plan is to proceed with that. That is separate and independent of money and distributions that might happen that will happen when the building is sold however it is sold. And the timing of that, is effective, the timing of the lawsuits when those are resolved. We have to ultimately, shut down the HOA. And so it
Okay,
depends
so-
on when those happen, but the $11 million distribution is happening now. I mean, relatively speaking.
And the remainder of the insurance funds, in fact, can be used to settle the lawsuit. Is that correct?
Well, we don't know what's going to happen with the remainder of
I
the.
understand you don't know at this point, but I'm saying, is the plan to use some of the funds, if necessary, from the insurance money to settle the lawsuit? That's a question.
Sally, I'm gonna have Randy answer, but then I think really we need to move on, okay?
Okay.
Randy?
Part of the problem here is that we have always used shorthand to conflate the reserve account and the insurance money. And we would have to then use the reserve account, probably. I'm not the treasurer, but we'd probably have to use the reserve account to pay for the lawsuit if there's some settlement against the association. The insurance money, that's what we're distributing. So we have insurance money, we have money from the sale, and we have the reserve account. Those are three different pots. Well, the sale pot hadn't happened yet, but there are potentially three different pots. So we would be using reserve monies to pay legal costs involved with the Porter suit.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute Hope. John Webb, your question?
Well, a few comments. Number one, I would be careful about saying what's what because the reserve account and the insurance account have been commingled. You basically probably don't even have any reserves. You have insurance that you've been feeding and paying for everything for. So that's it. But I would also think you need the legal questions. I don't think anybody knows those questions. You all don't know. No one has a crystal ball. You are working through the attorneys. You all made a gesture of goodwill to do the 11 million out because owners need it. I think we need to leave it at that. The second thing, as far as the audit, or third thing, as far as the audit, that audit was done for the prior year. You've not had an audit done this year. So, and there's been some questions, we've seen some errors, so you'll need to do that. But the good thing is, I don't think you really need it before the 11 million's paid out because you're leaving a cushion in there of about 4 million or so, 4 million to 5 million. And so if there are any issues, surely that amount would be able to, you could clean things out. I doubt if you have an accounting error over 500,000 in there, if anything. So I think you're safe without an audit. That's just my opinion. I'm one person, based on what I've seen from the finances. Thank you.
All right, thanks, John. Can we unmute Patty?
Okay, just two things, maybe three. We've got $11 million payout from the reserves. Then we're going to have 4 or 5 left in the reserves. And then there's the sale of 12 million. And I'm going to be positive here. There's no reason why the sale won't go through. 12 million there. What happens to what's in the operations bucket? How much is there and what is that being used for, please?
I can answer that if no one else
Sure,
would like
Chris.
to.
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, the operation fund is generated monthly based on HOA fees.
Yes.
So there isn't necessarily a large amount of money in the operating fund.
But there will be once we do the payout and people get the delinquency money put back in it, right?
That will go into HOA funds. And Patty, honestly, I am not the treasurer and I don't know where that money will end up. But there's certainly money that's in HOA fees that are in arrears that are going to come back to the association. And that all will go into a pot, which will get eventually paid out to all the owners.
Right.
We're dealing with 11 million now, and And the whole process, the remaining process at this point is unknown. Okay,
What
it's
do
the
you mean?
best I can do.
Are you talking about the sale?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking about the sale? That's the unknown? The sale dollars?
The remaining insurance money, potential sale money, and money that comes back to the HOA in reserve, that is unknown at this point.
And
Okay,
ongoing expenses.
I think what Chris is trying to say is, Patty, we don't know how much money we're gonna spend on legal expenses. We've had a bunch of building stuff going on lately, that's creating, we don't know what that last bucket of money is gonna end up looking like, but it will all be distributed fairly.
okay. Thank you.
When we
Thank
get
you.
there.
Thank you for those answers. Because we lost 63 million, or I'm sorry, 63,000 from the cross-queries. I'm sure, I'm glad you're going to set money aside because you're probably going to lose in the Porter case. And my final question is, are we going to talk about the sale tonight? Is that on the agenda?
It was not, but Gil, do you have the updates on the PSA? I mean, I would say, never mind, Gil, go ahead.
We are working through some issues that we have found. There's quite a bit of electrical expenses that have to be done.
What does that mean, Gil? What's the electrical?
Well, we've talked about it before. There's quite a bit of electrical work that needs to be done as a result of the people that do the permitting for electrical. And we're in conversations with the electrician and and Duke Energy about that to find out what those costs truly are.
Are you talking about the riser?
I'm not sure what the riser is, but there's
I
two
think
transformers that have to be replaced.
Okay.
that's part of it, Sally. Sorry, Patty.
Okay. Well, it
In the
seems
original-
that, isn't that an as is?
Randy?
Call the question.
The question is.
The question
Patty,
the
we're
question
talking about,
is, do we go with Provident to
yeah, we got a
authorize
motion
this
on the
thing?
floor.
I
Why do
thought
you
we,
always cut me off?
excuse-
Why do you
Yeah,
always cut me off?
I understand.
don't that.
Let me just say, Randy, I believe we had a vote 6-0. I thought we did that vote on Prominent. And so we did that, but then there were questions from the owners.
We did. The vote has,
We
and
can
it's been
confirm.
second and approved. But Gil, are there serious problems with the PSA? Are there serious problems with selling the building? And why isn't those electrical problems? Are those caused from the fire? Why isn't that part of that sale as is?
Gil, if you want, I mean, I could say,
It's part of due diligence. And you go through a process and you got to decide as a buyer whether you're going to go through with it when you get and you do your due diligence and you find out what's out there.
But Mike has said that he knows this building inside and out, and he's been around for years.
I cannot speak for Mike. We're having conversations. We're identifying what those costs are. We're having conversations with Mike about that once we know that and figure out if we can move forward or not. It's quite honestly, in my opinion, it's the last hurdle.
and Patty, if you have a particular question, but I think we really should move on. We have
Well,
a
the
few more.
question is, how's the sale going? And you said there were a number of issues. Is there more
I
than
didn't
just?
say there was a number of issues. There is an issue. We're
And it's
working
just
through
the
those issues, that issue. And once that is overcome, I think I believe we'll be on a good path to get this thing done.
Okay,
If we can
thank you.
get that resolved.
Thank you.
Okay.
My last question is, because the Cross Greens got out of paying $63,000 in delinquencies, are you going to waive all the delinquencies for everyone?
Patty, we signed an agreement there. There was a legal action involved. We're not going into the details of that. We're certainly not entertaining that thought. All right. I think we have one more item that I have, which is the insurance coverage. Randy?
Are you sure we voted on this?
I see one nod. I defer to the board. I thought we did. I'm going with prominent.
We did. And was it 6-0?
That's what I have. No?
One,
Listen, to be clear, we could go to the tape, but I think we probably at this point need to vote again then.
Let's just do it quickly.
Yeah. So let's just call the question. All those in favor of the motion, which I believe was go to prominent, all those in favor? Okay, 6-0. Okay, the last item I have is the increase in insurance coverage. Gil?
So we received from Driehaus that it's going to cost us approximately $43,300 annually for increasing our property liability insurance from $15 million to $20 million. And we're talking about doing that as a result of the appraisal coming in at 17.1. We will have an exact number once we tell them that we have approved to purchase this. It will probably be a little less than the 43.3 because that number was probably a week ago, and it's based on when we tell them to start. So that was the number then. The final number will probably be a little less than that. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the additional $5 million of insurance from Driehaus.
I'll second.
Second from Jan. Any discussion about that? Chris?
And the premiums be paid quarterly or semi-annual? Or do they have to be all at once?
It does not have to be all at once. I'm pretty sure of that, but I don't know if
Okay.
it's quarterly or monthly or how that is.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I have a question, Gil. Would this be paid for as the other insurance out of the landmark funds? I think that's how we paid the.
That's not my call, but I would assume that's what we would do. I don't know why we would do it any different.
it's just.
Do we
an
need to
addition-
include that in the motion?
It's an additional.
Yeah, that would be good.
It's an
So I
additional,
amend if you can take back your second, whoever did that,
That was Jan.
Take it
I
back.
would amend my motions to include, what am I including?
Including that the funds will be paid out of the landmark.
Oh, yes, thank you. The funds will be for this additional $43,000 out of the reserve fund.
And Jan, do you second that?
Yes.
Second
yes.
again. Okay, any discussion about this? Then can we recognize John Webb?
I mean, that's fine. You're clarifying this comes from reserve, but when you approved the budget, you didn't specify amount of insurance, nor did you specify what kinds of insurance. You just said when you pass it, that insurance would be paid from reserve. So this is overkill, but that's fine. I just want to point that out. That's in the, you can listen to the past meetings and look at the budget, but again, it doesn't hurt. Thank you.
Okay. All right. No other comments from the board? All those in favor of the motion? Okay, that's unanimous, 6-0. Okay. All right, any other items before we adjourn?
I was just going to note that I had been asked to check on the DNO, a comparison between our old company and our new company. I did get that and I sent it around to the board for review. If anybody has any further comments on that. I know John had a few, which I can take to Treehouse and get some answers on. If anybody else has questions, please get them to me so that I can get back to Treehouse and get answers for you.
Okay, thank you.
And the last thing that I meant to bring up a long time ago was last week we talked about going to the finance committee for a response on our HOA assessment. Haven't heard anything about that, and I would like to make sure that we get an answer for that at the next meeting, so we can get, if we're going to make a change, we can do it for the September billing.
Point taken. And put that in the minutes. All right. Patty, if you have a point on the items that are on the agenda, I'll recognize you.
Thank you. Per our governing documents, how many meetings is a board member allowed to miss before they should ethically be removed? Thank you.
That's not on the agenda. I move we adjourn.
Okay. All those in favor of adjourning? Okay. Thank you very much, Hammond.